What's up guys, this is Viltra here, and today I will be doing round 2, One Piece versus Naruto, East Blue versus Chunin exams. And I'm about to go to a wedding, not my wedding of course. I'm going to a wedding of my girlfriend's friend's uncle or something like that, so I'm not exactly close, but I'm ready for it. Yeah, I got a cut here somehow, I think it looks kind of cool. But anyway, let's get into it. So random characters from both sides. Winner wins, loser dies. And the winner continues in the tournament. And I don't know if I'll do it until the finish or just this round. So let's go. Sasuke against Luffy. So this is going to be a matchup where both of them are running in. Unfortunate for Sasuke, his Chidori is completely ineffective against Luffy because he's rubber. So Sasuke's best attack doesn't work. His kunais don't really work. I think because Luffy is very fast. I think Luffy is going to struggle landing a punch on Sasuke because he has like the substitution jutsu, and his fire breathing might cause some problems for Luffy, but Luffy has encountered fire breathing before and it hasn't been a problem for him. He would be able to dodge that at this point. And in terms of physical capability, even though Sasuke has the kunai and Luffy doesn't have a weapon, Luffy is just way stronger and way faster than Sasuke and way more durable as well. So even if Sasuke lands a kick or a punch, Luffy is rubber, so it's going to be doing no damage to him. So Luffy wins easy. Okay, so this is leading by 1. Next up, Kankuro against Smoker. So yeah, this is very obviously Smoker is going to win. Kankuro is not very strong. Kankuro might try to use the puppets to like crush or poison or something to Smoker, but Smoker is a Logia, he can avoid that pretty easily. And in fact, like the trapping mechanism on Kankuro's puppet, like it's not going to be useful because Smoker can turn into smoke and get out of it immediately. And for that sense, like Kankuro is a bit fucked. He's going to be very overconfident at the start because, of course, he's like the type of person who thinks he's strong. Well, he's going to try and keep his distance and like send his puppet in, and Smoker is going to hit it once, like really strong with his staff, and it's going to like explode into 1,000 pieces. And yeah, Kankuro loses, Smoker wins. No diff again. Again, another one. Hinata against Tashigi. This one will be a more interesting one. Okay, so both of them are like the girl who's like kind of maybe the love interest of one of the main characters or the main character, but not really. But maybe. They kind of look similar as well. So in terms of like Hinata is more skilled than Tashigi. I think Tashigi is stronger and probably faster. Let me think. Hinata could probably like avoid Tashigi's strikes with the sword using her Bakugan and redirecting the strikes with her palms, or like throwing the weapon out of Tashigi's hand and then like counterattacking her. So honestly, I feel like Hinata would win because just Tashigi is not very skilled and he's going to try and go into close quarters, and Hinata is very strong in hand-to-hand and hand-to-sword probably as well. Even though she isn't as good as Neji, I think she is good enough to beat Tashigi. So Tashigi is out. And Tashigi is like the type of character also who's going to like complain and stuff, and she's going to be annoying in the fight if she loses. Okay. 7 Butcher. Okay. Rock Lee against Sam and Butchie. So Rock Lee is going to win, I think. So this will definitely start with both of them running at each other. Rock Lee will be on the defensive at the start because Sam and Butchie are going to be together and they are pretty strong. Kind of strong, but they aren't very skilled. They are not going to do major damage even if they land on Rock Lee. And if he takes off the weights, like Sam and Butchie are going to like they are going to like lunge at him, and he's going to like go under them and kick them to the air, do the leaf lotus thing, take one of them out. The other one's going to be alone, and then he can probably take them out without even using with his weights on still and without using the gates. So I think Rock Lee wins this. Send my butcher out. Shino against Zoro. So who do I think win this? Zoro, because Zoro is more agile. Even if Shino manages to like poison Zoro, Zoro can kill Shino before the poison takes him out, or like the bugs or whatever. I don't really remember exactly how his poison worked. But yeah, I think Shino's poison isn't going to be enough. He's not going to be able to escape Zoro, and he's not going to be able to block Zoro's strikes at the same time. The onigiri, like Zoro is going to do that and Shino is going to be cut up and on the ground. I definitely think the fight would start with Zoro like launching at Shino and Shino like trying to escape into like maybe if there's like trees or trying to walk on the wall, but it's not going to be effective enough against Zoro because Zoro is a lot faster and more dexterous. So Zoro wins. I think it's pretty easy. And maybe it could be considered a tie if that poison can take him out after. Because Zoro is definitely going to be hit by the poison, he's not very smart. Tenten against Mochi and Richie. So Tenten is going to jump in the air, like do her like spin and throw all of the weapons at Mochi and Richie, and I think Richie can jump out of the way and Mochi can as well, and he can block a bit with his whip. And his whip can also be used to like catch Tenten while he's spinning in the air, like get over here. And yeah, in that case I think Mochi wins. Richie can take out Tenten in close range. I don't think Tenten can hurt the lion a lot. And if Tenten tries to fight Mochi in close range, it's going to be a lot closer because Mochi is not that strong and he doesn't have a lethal weapon. But I think Mochi can take this, and especially with Richie 2v1, Tenten is eliminated. Gaara against Hachan. Okay, so if Gaara tries to do the sun crashing attack, I think Hachan can avoid it because Hachan is very strong. He's a fishman, he's 10 times stronger than the average person by default, and he's also a pretty strong fishman, so even stronger than that. So the sand coffin might be a bit difficult to do. But I think Gaara's sand is strong enough to protect him from Hatchan's swords, and he can also like Gaara can move out of the way, and his sand armor will probably stop Hatchan from cutting him. And if Hatchan tries to like get like really close to Gaara, I think he's going to get crushed. And like Gaara might struggle a bit. It might take some time, but Gaara will eventually like manage to crush his arms, and Hachan is not going to realize to avoid it in time, and then he's going to lose his arm, and after he loses one arm it's game over for him, as he loses most of his strength with the arm. And while Gaara doesn't have any other real offensive way of attacking, his defense is just too absolute for Hachan, and Hachan is kind of slow, so Gaara wins this. Hachan will not do any damage. Kin, so if you recall, that's the Genjutsu user, and Kin is against Arlong. So the way this fight is going to play out is Kin is going to be like very very smug, and Arlong is going to like laugh at her. She's going to get angry, she's going to throw the kunais at him. Arlong will easily just like block them or even catch them with his teeth and break them, and then like jump at her. And Kin is going to be way too slow to react. She might try to use the Genjutsu, but it takes way too long, and then she's going to be cut in half with one strike, or alternatively like a piece of her is bitten off, or maybe Arlong just punches her really hard and her head flies off. So definitely Arlong wins this. It's no diff. It was a miracle that Kin actually got someone weak enough in the first round that she could beat. So yeah, Kin is now out. She should have been before too. So now, next one. Temari against Kuro. So Temari is she's kind of slow, like she's not going to be able to block them. I think the fight would start with Temari like throwing the wind with her fan or whatever, and Kuro is going to use his steps really quickly, take off his sheath for his swords and end up behind her, and at this point it's game over for Temari. I think she would try maybe to do something, and because they are fighting to kill, Kuro would just kill her. He's not the type of person who is going to play around, and because of that Temari dies after like 3 seconds. And yeah, she gets scrubbed by Kuro. It's a bad matchup for her because she relies on like keeping the opponents at a distance, and like she's a medium or long range fighter, and Kuro is really fast and he can mitigate that advantage immediately. Okay, next one. Ino against Don Krieg. So needless to say, I think this matchup goes to Don Krieg. The only way Ino could ever like win this is if she possesses, or I not win but tie this match, is if she possesses Don Krieg and like shoots herself in his body in the head and dies in the process as well. That's the only way I could ever see her winning. And even that might be a bit of a stretch because Don Krieg probably doesn't die from taking a bullet in the head. So yeah. If Don Krieg starts running at her, she's not going to be able to escape. She's going to take out the kunai and look like Sakura on the bridge when Sabusa is coming at her. And even like if Don Krieg is using the spear, she's going to be cut in half and exploded. If he's using the spear, she's going to end up looking like a hedgehog. And if he's using the normal bullets or the bombs, she's going to die as well. So Don Krieg kills her immediately. And this is like being really brutal right now. Next one. Kabuto against Pearl. In this fight, Pearl is going to... Because Pearl is definitely the overconfident one, Kabuto is someone who stands back first. Kabuto is someone who stands back at first and sees what his opponent can do, and Pearl is going to run at him. He's going to try and punch him, but Kabuto is really fast actually, so he's going to avoid it. He's probably going to counterattack using his like reshuffling ability to like fuck with his nerves. So he's going to screw Pearl's body up, and he's going to have struggles moving. Pearl can extend the fight by lighting himself on fire, so it will be harder for Kabuto, and he's going to take some damage when he's hitting Pearl just from the fire. But Kabuto is, going to last that. And eventually Pearl will be immobilized, and maybe if he uses the fire pearls, he can push Kabuto back a bit, force him to jump back a fair amount, but Kabuto will win eventually, and then he will kill Pearl using whatever means he wants. Okay, so this is this round done. So there are 4 Naruto characters left. Hinata, Rock Lee, Gaara, and Kabuto. Hinata is here like really randomly because he's not that strong. And on One Piece side there should be 7. Mochi and Richie, Don Krieg, Kuro, Arlong, Zoro, Smoker and Luffy. Mochi and Richie is really random as well, but I think they have a huge advantage because they have 2 people, and many of these characters use one person attacks and they are vulnerable when there are 2 people. So let's just pick randomly out of these. Gaara against Zoro. To be honest, I don't know what to think about this one. I think Gaara is really going to be pushed by Zoro, and Zoro is really strong, so he can cut the sand if Gaara tries to crush him with it. Although he's not going to be able to cut iron, so I'm not sure if Zoro can cut the sand after Gaara uses his more of his chakra on it and makes it harder. So after that Zoro might lose and Gaara might win, but if Zoro gets to hit Gaara, I don't think his sand armor is good enough, and Gaara is really slow. So if his sand defenses fail him, I think Zoro kills him. And Zoro is like a really brutal fighter as well. He's going to go for the kill. He's going to go for the onigiri. Let me think. So Gaara's sand defenses work against Rock Lee as long as he doesn't have the weights, but after that it's too far gone. So with that, I think Zoro is faster than Rock Lee without the weights. With the weights, excuse me. And his strikes are a lot stronger and faster than Rock Lee's punches, and of course because it's a sword he can stab like this, and the surface area is going to be really small with the sword, so I think Gaara probably dies. And if he transforms to the one tail, I think the one tail probably beats Zoro. No, because Kara is on top of it and he cannot protect himself with the sand, so Zoro is going to dodge the attacks, you know, whatever Sukaku can do, jump on Sukaku and run at Gaara and kill him. So I think Zoro wins, honestly. But you can answer that to me in the comments. I feel like this is going to be a bit divisive. I just think Zoro has the advantage. He's like a very speedy fighter. Gaara is not very fast and you know, he relies on his sand protection a lot. So Hinata against Arlong. So Arlong is going to be too strong for her to deflect the strikes, and Arlong has a weapon. If he uses the saw blade, Hinata like trying to hit the chakra points is not going to happen. He's way too strong. He's going to overpower her like with brute strength. Even though he's not as skilled, he is better at fighting, like strength wise and speed wise. And that's not even talking about the water, because Hinata cannot deflect the water bullets like Netsi could, because Netsi has the rotation, Hinata doesn't. So if Arlong has the water, he can use the water bullets and take out Hinata that way without even needing to get into medium range. So yeah, Arlong wins, there's not much debate about that. Next one. Don Krieg against Rock Lee. Okay, this one's interesting. So without a doubt, without the gates, Rock Lee is going to not be strong enough. He's going to hit the armor. It's going to be like Gaara's sand, very similar. And Don Krieg's bullets might hurt him quite a bit, as well as the exploding spear. So that's something he needs to be careful of. But assuming Rock Lee is smart enough and backs off and drops the weights and goes into the gates, he would definitely hurt Krieg a lot. I think Rock Lee, he's really fast, so Don Krieg's bullets and spears, he would be able to dodge them and the bomb as well. And when he takes out the exploding spear, that weighs a ton, is going to be too sluggish to use. And Rock Lee is going to like hit him because Don Krieg has the armor. He's very durable. He's not going to go down from one attack. So Rock Lee is going to really need to pummel him. And the question is if Rock Lee can keep up the gates long enough to pummel Krieg to the ground. And I think the answer is yes, because against Gaara, Rock Lee turned on the gates and like was ping-ponging Gaara around the room, like as if, and he couldn't even land on the ground, and I think that would be enough to break Don Krieg's defense, and Don Krieg would be defeated. It's a bad matchup for him because Rock Lee is way too fast, but Don Krieg is stronger and more durable and has more ways to hurt people. So I think in a blank matchup, I think Don Krieg might be stronger, but Rock Lee dominates this one really hard. Kabuto against Mochi and Richie. Okay, so in this one, Kabuto is going to be a stronger hand-to-hand combatant, and Richie is not going to be a problem for him. He can take it out with like surgical precision. And yeah, I think there's not much to mention about this. Like Mochi is going to like run at him like this and like try to punch him, and Kabuto is going to use the kunai and take Mochi out, and Richie as well. So Kabuto wins. It's pretty simple. Okay, so now there are only 2 Naruto characters left, and I have a few more One Piece characters. I guess I'll move all of these ones here. I'll put the One Piece characters in the same place as well, and I'll select randomly. Okay, so the upper one was Rock Lee. I don't know which one is which now. Okay, this character against this character. Kabuto against Kuro. And Kabuto will be able to keep up somewhat with Kuro. Kabuto is not going to be able to use his ability like reshuffle. He's not going to be able to touch Kuro is my point. So I think if Kuro keeps the distance, he wins. And Kabuto he's out of luck, I think, because he would beat most of the other guys here. But his defense isn't good enough, so he's going to get carved up like Luffy did in his fight against Kuro. Kuro is going to use Sakushi, and he's going to speed blitz Kabuto. Like it's probably not going to be done in one attack, because Kabuto is going to be able to block with a kunai, like at least somewhat. But the kunai is not big enough to block all 5 swords, so he's going to get hurt. He's going to get hurt more, and then he's eventually going to collapse, and Kuro wins. Okay, that was actually really quick, and the final one. Rock Lee, you are the savior. If Rock Lee draws like Smoker, he's done for. Okay. Rock Lee against Arlong. So Rock Lee is now going to the gauntlet. First he beat Don Krieg, now he has to beat Arlong as well. So Arlong is a lot stronger than Don Krieg was. So one punch from Arlong is going to kill Rock Lee. No, well, not kill, but if Arlong gets his hands on him or uses the sword on him, I think in that situation Rock Lee is going to be dead. And in that case, yeah, Rock Lee loses. Rock Lee without the gates, he's not fast enough, I think. He's going to get hit and Arlong is going to grab him or hit him with his sword. So Rock Lee needs to be really careful and immediately go to his weightless mode or gates. Weights off is also not going to be enough. He cannot punch hard enough and move fast enough. So I think in that situation, he might be able to avoid Arlong somewhat. He's not going to be able to touch him. So he's going to need to use the gates. First gate, his offensive power isn't going to be enough. He needs to go to second or third gate immediately. Second and third gate, once he opens those, Arlong is going to really struggle. So it depends on where they are fighting. If he's fighting with like some cover, if he can hide somewhere, hide his presence and lunge at Rock Lee, he might be able to defeat Rock Lee that way really easily. Because Arlong's strikes are like really brutal in that way. He can jump forward from the water or just land itself with his nose, like his saw nose in front, and when he hits his target, like it's so hard, like he sounds like a tack that flew to the wall when someone threw it. And yeah, if Rock Lee gets hit by that, it's game over for him. But I think Rock Lee would be able to avoid him in like a flat surface. And let's say that we are fighting in a flat surface without water. In that case, Rock Lee is going to win. It's going to be like extreme diff. He's going to be really exhausted and he's going to need to use gear 5. He's going to need to pummel Arlong and just barely defeat him, I'm going to say. So Arlong is defeated. Okay, Rock Lee remains. Okay, he needs to be really lucky. If he draws the wrong guy, he's dead. Rock Lee against Kuro. Okay, this is going to be the speed demon match. Kuro is going to destroy Rock Lee if he doesn't use gates. So again, let's assume he uses gates immediately. Like he's really running the villain gauntlet here. Like, wow, he really is the protagonist in this one. So against Kuro, he's going to have some trouble. Kuro might be invisible to Rock Lee's eyes if he doesn't use the gates, so that might be a really big problem for him. He might get one shot in this one actually, but okay, let's assume he goes full power from the start. Okay, with full power, can he beat Kuro when he's using the Sakushi? Can Kuro avoid him? Not really. I think Rock Lee is slightly faster than Kuro, I'm going to assume. And with that, I think Kuro's durability is not good enough to survive many punches from Rock Lee, because in his fight against Luffy, once he got hit a few times, he was knocked out cold. So I'm going to say Rock Lee wins this. It's going to be pretty easy for him, but just because Kuro is lacks durability. Okay, Rock Lee against Zoro. To be honest, I'm sorry, Rock Lee. I think this one, Zoro is going to be victorious for this one just because he is way too lethal. If Rock Lee makes a small mistake when he's like maybe, okay, let's assume he's immediately using the gears and he's going to bounce around Zoro like he did with Gaara. Like Zoro is super durable, so he's going to stay conscious for a long time. He's going to really need to be pummeled to the ground. And if he moves his sword the right way, he could easily impale Rock Lee and cut him in half or something when Rock Lee is coming at him like really fast. And in that case, like there's nothing Zoro cannot do. Like Zoro is going to kill Rock Lee. So yeah, this is where Rock Lee ends. Even though I think Zoro is probably in the East Blue is probably weaker than Arlong and maybe even weaker than Don Krieg just because of his lethality alone. And fast strikes, I think Zoro wins this. Assuming Rock Lee doesn't use the gates, he's going to end up looking like many of Zoro's opponents, like getting cut apart by Onigiri. And yeah, and now we have 3 One Piece characters who ran the gauntlet and in fact defeated all of their opponents. And the answer for this video, or this series, I guess this is going to be 3 videos now, the answer is going to be One Piece East Blue is stronger. Luffy, Zoro and Smoker, they were victorious. Rock Lee went really far, along with Gaara as well. Rock Lee, Gaara and Kabuto were the main contributors for Naruto, and yeah, Zoro, Luffy, Smoker, they were way too unbeatable. I'm not sure there was any character on the Naruto side that could defeat them, except maybe Kabuto could defeat Luffy, because Luffy stretches. Then if Kabuto manages to dodge that, he can disorient Luffy, and he has the kunai to cut him. So against Luffy, Kabuto might have won, but against Rock Lee doesn't have sharp weapons really, so Luffy is going to take almost no damage from his punches. Zoro, he's way too brutal, and Smoker is a Lobsia, and he's very fast and strong as well. So I think they were unbeatable, and of course if I included Mihawk, yeah, he would one-shot everyone, even at the same time. One slice, all of them are cut in half. So yeah, he's not supposed to be in this level of video. I'll think about what I can do next, and I'll make a similar video to this. Maybe I'll use Alabasta characters against like, not only, because they are a bit stronger, right? Alabasta and Saya maybe, so that I have enough. I'll use like the Chunins as well from the Chunin exams, and I'll also use Land of the Waves and maybe like Tsuna the Rescue, but I don't know if that's useful. Maybe, yeah, I'll put a few other characters there because I think it will be more exciting that way. And yeah, you'll see me eventually when I edit this video, so I'll be getting ready for the wedding, I think. And thanks for watching guys, and see you again later.